One nice thing about a graph is you can quickly get a feel for certain aspects of the data that are in the graph without necessarily having to read a whole lot of words. And I'll give you an example. We're looking at total distance on the y-axis and total time on the x-axis. So what that means is if you see the graph going horizontally, that's time that's passing, but not a whole lot of distance happening. In other words, you're stopped. And we've got two examples of that in here where the family has stopped to get some eats. Okay, right here. They're just taking a lunch and a dinner break. And maybe there's some gasoline stops in here that are happening too. I don't know. It is a 650-mile trip. I'm looking at this line right here and saying 650 miles. Yeah, you're going to stop in there, all right. But the longest stretch that they're going here is about, I don't know, 350 miles. So you can make that on a tank. There's other stuff that's happening in this graph that's kind of cool to look at. For one thing, I see traffic right here because that is a very shallow line, right? It's taking forever. Like they spent a whole hour and it looks like they made it about 20 miles or something. So they hit some traffic coming out of town. It looks like we've got some local roads here, which are kind of slow. You know, as you get close to Yosemite, you got lots of windy single lane roads. It's very pretty, but it's very slow. Whereas over here, see that steep line? That means you're making a lot of mileage in not a whole lot of time. This might be open highway. Okay, they hit a nice stretch where they made good time. So interesting things from the graph. Let's get to answering the question. What is the average speed? And what I do not want you to do is just take 650 miles divided by 12. Yes, that would be the average speed in the day, but read closely. This says, what's the average speed for the portions of the day spent driving? So what we have to do here is figure out how to cross out some of this stuff. In other words, I don't want to count this or this because you're not driving during those portions. You're just eating. What's the average speed while on the road? So to figure that out, you calculate the total distance. That's 650 divided by the time spent driving. Well, how much is in those eating sections? It looks like 1 hour for lunch and 1 hour for dinner. So we're really talking about 12 hours minus 2. So this is going to be 650 over 10 hours, not 12 hours, which is basically about 65 miles per hour. Now, it would be a lot lower if we averaged in the time spent eating, but we're not doing that. And if you look at your answers here, I've got one possibility, 64. Okay, maybe that wasn't exactly 65. Maybe that was 640 miles, not 650 miles. Who knows? But this is the way you approach the graph. Watch out for those eating sections. That's not what it's asking for.